Hey there everybody. I am so happy to be here today painting for you, and I have in my mind I want to do kind of a linear horizontal dirty pour, I guess you would call it maybe, and I'm using all DecoArt products, and I have their new pouring medium which they shipped to me to experiment with. I don't think it's available yet in the stores. I'm in the artist program with them, and so I was able to get it kind of firsthand to play with it. Everything I'm using is DecoArt, and this first one I'm going to go ahead and mention and get it out of the way. It was one I mixed the other day, kind of a bronzy color. I cannot find the bottle, so I probably threw it away when I finished the bottle. But it was already mixed up and it was covered up, and it's been sitting there and I want to use it. It's got pouring medium in it, and the pouring medium ratio is 1:1. So 1 part paint to 1 part pouring medium. And this right here is a mixture of Peacock Pearl and Teal, and they're both dazzling metallics. I'm going to give them one last tap to get every little bit of paint out of these bottles, because this color is so beautiful. Both of the colors are beautiful. So that's the mixture of the Peacock and the Teal. This is silver, dazzling metallic shimmering silver. And I'm not going to add any more to that because I don't want to overflow my cup. And I'm going to go ahead and add the pouring medium to the 2 metallics, and then with the other colors I'll speed through that because it, you know, is kind of boring to watch somebody mix paint. But I wanted to go ahead and do the metallics just to see if I need to add water, because with regular colors in the DecoArt line, you do not have to add water when you add your medium to it, 1 part to 1 part. So I want to see, because usually the metallics are thicker. And so I either need more pouring medium or water. So I'm going to add more pouring medium. I would say their pouring medium is a little more fluid than, say, Floetrol, which a lot of people use, and I have used a lot in the past. So it is a little bit more fluid and watery, which is a good thing, because then it doesn't require you to add water, which is just going to kind of mute down your paint color, you know, the vividness of it. The water is going to lessen the intensity of it. Okay, so when I added more pouring medium, that helped with the consistency. So let's see how the silver does here. Always go around the sides of your cup when you're mixing in any kind of medium to make sure that everything is thoroughly mixed from the outside in. You don't want to miss the edges. That's also a little bit thick, so I'm pretty much filling this paint up to the brim of the cup. And these are like 3-ounce cups. So I have to be careful because otherwise I'm going to spill out over the edges here. Kind of once you get that medium or whatever mixed in, you can usually stir a little faster, but until you get it kind of mixed into that paint, it's going to be very wet along the edges. Right there, I just went over the edge onto my finger. So that helped with that consistency as well. And like I said, I'm really up to the brim on that one with the paint. So I always keep wet paper towels. So the next one I'm going to show you is Buttermilk, which is a little more yellow than Titan Buff, and Titan Buff is a premium DecoArt paint that is in a tube, so it's a higher quality paint. It's more artist grade. So here is the Buttermilk, and as you can see, this one is more of a tan color. This one I just picked out. I had an extra bottle of gloss enamel white, so this has some gloss sheen to it. If I pour any white besides this into my pour, it will just be the regular titanium white that I mix 1:1 as well. This color is a combination of zinc and dark chocolate. So I wanted kind of a brownish gray. So that's that color. This color is baby blue. Move these out of the way as I go. Also need to keep them aside because I always list the colors at the bottom of all my videos. I always list my colors that I use so that if you want to try the same color scheme, you'll have those references. This color is dark chocolate mixed with slate gray. So it was darker, the chocolate color was darker, and it softened it just a bit with that gray. And then this color is the Titan Buff, or the Buttermilk, one or the other of those, and the dark chocolate. So it's kind of a brownish tan color. So I think I got all the colors I used. And so now I'm going to add my pouring medium to my regular colors that aren't metallic, and I'm going to do a 1:1 ratio. The Titan Buff is a premium paint, so I have a feeling it'll take more than 1:1. I'll probably have to use a little bit more pouring medium, and I'll just do it like I do with water. I'll add it until I get it to the right consistency. That's it on that jar. So all these are pretty much going to be full cups almost. Well, they are going to be full cups because I'm making as much paint as I possibly can because I don't want to run out of anything. This pouring medium is 16 ounces. That's the way it comes. So it doesn't go very far if you do quite a bit of painting like I do. I'm going to speed up through the mixing process. Okay, so they're mixed, and to be quite honest, the pouring medium 1:1 with the regular colors to me is almost a little bit on the watery side, but I'm going to leave it because my metallics are a little bit on the thicker side. And I've got this Titan Buff, and I don't know if you can see this, but it's got this lumpy cottage cheesy kind of feel. So I've got to get something to mix this with that I can break up those lumps. This paint was the premium paint, which I've had for quite a while, maybe 4 to 5 months or so, and I don't know if it just sat too long, but like I said, it's very lumpy, and you want a very creamy, silky kind of texture of your paint. When you pour it, you don't want to have any lumps. It's going to make your painting look less than what you want it to be. So basically I'm just taking a spoon and I'm pressing that paint against the side of the cup to try to break up those lumps. And if I can't get it smooth enough, I'll have to scratch this cup and mix another color. So that's what I'm doing right now, is just trying to get the lumps out. Now I need to add some more pouring medium because it's thickened up. This was the premium paint in the tube, which I knew it would take more pouring medium anyway, because the better quality of paint, like this is artist grade, so the better quality that's more artist grade is going to always be thicker. It's always going to be thicker. That's true with any tube paint. You're going to have to add, besides your medium, you're going to have to add some water generally. But the pouring medium is fluid enough to where you don't have to add water, but I'm just having to add more pouring medium. Always scrape around the sides and get all the sides, because if your paint is in one area and your pouring medium is in another, you just want to make sure it's all blended really well. So I got that to smooth down, but I really had, if you have that sometimes with lumpy paint, you can try to take like a spoon or something that has a flatter surface besides your craft stick and really work it in and kind of scrub it against your cup as you're stirring, and that will break down those lumps and make it more fluid and creamy again. I showed the colors that I mixed up, and I'm starting another video. I did one before that was a 24 by 12, and I had the same colors left over, so that's what I'm going to use on this pour. I am going to start the canvas out with a white base. This white is mixed 50-50 with Oatrol, even though the rest of it is mixed with DecoArt Pouring Medium. Always just make sure I have plenty on the corners. And then I usually just run my fingers along the edges to make sure there's white paint around all the edges and it's not just dry canvas, so that if you have any part of your design that goes over the edge, you'll have the white paint there as well. So I mixed up kind of earthy, beachy, sky, watercolors. I am going to add some water to my Peacock and Teal Pearl Dazzling Metallics. It was super thick on the last pour, so I wanted to get rid of a little bit of that. And I want just kind of a combination of all of these colors, just a little bit here and there. This one is also thickened up. The metallics are easily thickened just by sitting, and the heat from, I try to turn my AC or my heat off when I'm taping because my system is very loud. So I turn that off, but the lights that I use put out some heat, and it can get a little bit warm, and so the paints sometimes have a tendency to kind of set up a little bit of the silver. It's thick. So all these are mixed with pouring medium, DecoArt Pouring Medium 1:1, and the Titan Buff I had to add more pouring medium because it was out of the tube, which is always thicker, and I also added a little more to some of the metallics. And I did add a little bit of water because from the last video they were thicker. So now I'm going to do 2 dirty pour cups, and I'm not going to pour them the same. I want them to be different. So that's why I'm going to switch them up so that there's no chance of them being slightly the same at all. course, I don't remember what I've poured and what I haven't poured, but so here's 1 cup. And I forgot to put the coconut milk in. I do that every time. Okay, never mind. We're not using coconut milk. I wanted to do it in both cups. I don't know how people flip them so fast where they don't get paint somewhere. I don't do that real well at all. And I am going to poke a hole so it releases the air. And this was probably enough for 1 whole painting, and I didn't need 2 cups. So I'm going to put heat on it. Don't like that white right there. So I kind of love this here. It's very, I don't know, geode looking or something, so I don't really want to mess with this part. I'm just trying to see if I can get this to kind of ease on over on this corner. Just trying to get some of this white back onto the edge of the canvas because it's a little thin there. To round off that edge. So I want those little areas to be kind of rounded looking. So I've got paint on all the edges, and it's more on this end, and I wanted to leave just that little bit of white negative space because I really love the softness of this, and I got wonderful cells even without putting a drop of the OGX into it. So I'm pretty pleased, and I'm glad that the browns didn't take over. So it's very soft toned and pleasing to the eye, I think. So I'm going to call this one done. I'm just going to see by chance if I put the heat gun on it if any more cells will come up. So a few more may have popped out, but I think that's pretty much what's going to happen with the cells. There is a little bit of, right here there's a little bit of the cell action going on in a, in kind of a little cluster area, but otherwise it's just kind of random, which I do like. I like the colors. They're very soft and pleasing. Doing a third canvas. I'm kind of on a roll with this color scheme that I really like. I've got a bottle of white mixed with Easy Flow 1:1. So I'm just putting a layer of that on. I did a 24 by 12 landscape or oriented kind of painting, and I really liked it, and I wanted to do a flip cup and drag, and I'm never good at dragging. I always use too much paint, so it just ends up being a dirty pour. And this one I'm going to do as a dirty pour as well. think. And I totally forgot to put any silicone because I wanted to see if I could get some bigger cells. I've got the DecoArt Pouring Medium just mixed in with the colors, nothing else. And so, besides a little water in the metallics and the Titan Buff. So I wanted to do with the coconut milk by OGX. I wanted to see if I could get some bigger cells. And I've got quite a bunch of colors, and I think I'm going to do 2 cups again. Maybe I'll do 3. So what I'll do is I'll just pour them all at the same time. I like to do kind of contrasting colors, like lighter and darker. So if you do a light, then you do a dark. So I didn't put it in the cups, but I'm just putting a drop in every so often in the layers. I'm not doing a full pump either. I'm doing just like a little drop. It's not even barely a half pump really. You can't, color-wise, you can't tell the difference between this warm brownish gray and the silver. Silver, one's metallic and one's not, so it'll be interesting to see how it comes out, because the silver really didn't show up in the previous pours. See, I'm doing quite a bit of paint here. I'm terrible at flip cups. This had way more brown than the last one, whereas the last one came out kind of soft and muted, and some of the blues and turquoise and creams. This one has more brown, which is kind of what I wanted. So basically I'm just trying to get all 3 puddles kind of connected. So I actually got some pretty large cells. I'm pleased with that. What I'll do is add some more paint here where it's a little bit on the light side. So I'm basically going to take the edge and roll it just a little bit with my skewer. Actually, I'm going to see if I can blow on it a little bit. Clean my hands here, and I'm going to use the heat gun one more time. But I'm also going to zoom you in just a little bit so you can see there's like a line of cells there that are like squished together, which is kind of neat. But like this here, this is probably like a 2-inch cell. That's probably about 1.5 inches, and there's some really, you know, kind of good sized ones that I'm pleased with that are mixed in. And I'm always tempted to, you know, if I see an area that's kind of large that is kind of too much of one color, but I'm not going to mess with this because I really like what's going on, these very subtle, large, plumped cells. And there's a little bit of lacing right here with the white, which is neat. I am going to go over this little streak right there. That was bothering me. But I think I'm going to call this one done. So, here it is up close. You see those big, nice cells? And there's the I won't say what it looks like, but it's common in the Facebook world, but there's the line of cells that are kind of hooked together. And there's, you know, a little pop of maybe the peacock color that comes through there. But it's very organic and geode kind of feeling, kind of spacey. I like that. There's just a little hint of that, it looks like green, but it's basically maybe the peacock teal maybe, and then maybe the yellowish, the buttermilk color maybe. That and the peacock teal might have made more of a green feel, I guess is where that's coming from. So there's the difference between that one, and here's the one I just poured previously before, which is more subtle, and it had no silicone in it, so you can tell that the cells are smaller, whereas this one has some bigger cells that are stretched out. So there's that one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for following me.